It's unusual for anyone, let alone a co-creator, to quit a show that became a television classic. But Larry David made a choice while Seinfeld was at its peak that confused viewers, startled network executives, and started suspicions that haven't gone away. Some thought it was egocentric. Some others assumed it was exhaustion, as some speculated about more sinister disputes occurring in the background. One disturbing concern was raised by his departure, regardless of the reason. I don't see why the creator of a cultural phenomena would disappear at the same moment it was taking over. Nobody had anticipated the reality to be so complicated. Even more shocking to supporters and viewers will be the revelations that led to this choice. The difficult journey to achievement that Larry David took. The life of Larry David starts with his birth, Lawrence Gene David, on July 2, 1947 in Brooklyn, New York. Much of his character and outlook came from his formative years spent in the borough. He spent his formative years in the city before progressing through the traditional phases of education. However, those years were not in the spotlight. Attending Sheepshead Bay High School, he embarked on his teenage years in the 1960s. There were no big clues that he would go on to become a major force in television comedy writing at the time. However, the complex and multi-faceted world around him provided him with inspiration that he would subconsciously draw upon. Following his high school graduation, he followed the conventional wisdom and enrolled in college. I am applying to the University of Maryland. He was able to broaden his perspective after relocating from Brooklyn to a university outside of the city. He persisted in his studies despite lacking the confidence and notoriety that would come to be associated with him. He earned a bachelor's degree in business and history in 1970. When taken together, these fields point to an individual who is curious about the world and wants to know how things function, while also having a feeling of purpose. The kind of work he would have in the future was still unclear, though. Even after earning his degree. After finishing college, he devoted his early adult years to responsibilities and daily survival rather than leisure activities. He was an active duty U.S. Army Reserve soldier in the early 1970s. The commitment's shackles of discipline and duty stood in stark contrast to the freewheeling, creative path his life would ultimately follow. In addition to his military service, he also worked odd jobs to make ends meet. Before venturing into the unpredictability of comedy, he worked his way up in the real world by working as a store clerk and taxi driver. Despite their lack of glamour, these professions were representative of what many aspiring entertainers endure before they discover their true vocation. Larry David started to immerse himself in the world that would shape his reputation in the mid to late 1970s. He began doing stand-up comedy in nightclubs around New York.